How's my deadly batteries doing? Sorry for going MIA on you guys. I've been working on a few projects, one of them being my personal art portfolio. So I'm trying to do some big things, but nevertheless, I'm here to give you guys my review of Fairize F Advent Dark Forces. So for those who are not familiar with this franchise, Fairize is actually a Japanese role-playing game that's turn-based. But the cool thing about this particular one, you actually get multiple endings. So you can decide if you want to revive the awesome goddess and save the world, or do you want to revive the evil, vile god. It's more like the demon in the game, but nevertheless, the game is actually pretty awesome, really fun. Definitely want to get into some gameplay and start showing you a little bit of the game, alright? So sit back and let's jump into it. So the first thing right off the bat that I fell in love with Fairize is the character dynamics and their personalities. I mean, it's amazing. In my opinion, it's something that is original. It's definitely something that you don't really commonly come across within like the standard role-playing games that are built here in America and even in Japan, or maybe it's just my selection of Japanese games is just that small. I mean, talking about Final Fantasy here for me, but I mean the biggest one is like it has like that anime centric feel to it. With like the main character, Fang is a perfect example. He's not motivated by anything. I'm introduced to him by the sheer fact that he loves food, and any conversations with food is bound to be a riot amongst all of the characters. In fact, it's the main talking point between Fang and a lot of his cohorts, but the cool thing is that Fang actually has a lot of really good shining moments where he turns from being like the team idiot, as he's called, to being the shining hero of the game and that glue that keeps everyone together. But it's not just him, it's a couple other characters. There's a character in the game who's this big manly fairy, but find out that he likes to cook and do house cleaning. So I mean, those dynamics there is really awesome. But then like the next thing about the game is really getting to strictly the gameplay. It's the dungeon crawling aspect. I personally am a big fan of it, and it's always really cool to jump into that. And then from that dungeon crawling aspect is the battles, where it's turn-based. So like dungeon crawling, turn-based, perfect for me. So all within that turn-based play style, you have essentially, once it's your turn, you're able to move, and based on your character's movement, you have this whole unique radius to move within to essentially attack your opponent or wait your turn. So that's like the basic of it, which is actually pretty nice and simple. It makes it easy for a lot of people to jump into the game. But you know, that's the really fun part. But one of the biggest things that you'll personally end up using a lot within the game is this weapon boost that you. So as you're playing through the game and winning your battles, you get weapon points. You use those weapon points to essentially boost up your characters. Yes, leveling up does build up the basic stats, but if you're looking to increase certain characters' battle capacities or learn new magic skills or even basic moves, the weapon boost is the place to do it. So as you're doing that, one of the things I personally focused on from the beginning is building up my character's combos, because you will definitely get tired of this. Definitely in the beginning of the game is spending one turn to attack one character with one hit. So I'm just like, my turn, hit, end of turn. Get back to your turn, hit him again, kind of gets boring. So building up the combo is really cool because you're able to chain on more attacks, eliminate your opponents a lot easier and quickly too. On top of doing that, it's essentially I'm going to get down to like those parameters. Like once you build up a certain gauge of like your character's attack, like you got that attack gauge up to like the 5th level, you can actually get newer abilities because certain skills do have unique prerequisites, which is, you know, get a certain parameter up to a certain level, or even get your revival rank up to a certain grade. So all that kind of plays all together, but definitely the weapon boost is where you're going to be spending a lot of time kind of grinding out in a lot of battles to get enough points to actually build up essentially enough that you want to use to learn the abilities for your characters. But then you kind of go into like the next part is like the equip with the fairies. It's a fairy portion in here, and the fairies kind of act as like non-playable characters in a sense, but you can equip them to the main characters, and that will help them boost some of their stats and also give them unique abilities as well. And then like the next part of it is of course doing like your formation or your team shorty, which is where you can place all of your teammates at. And me personally, if I'm using magic users automatically back of the line. So I do like that aspect because it does give you the opportunity to really build out your team formation, your strategies for your gameplay, which you can change anytime throughout the playthrough of your game. So you're not just limited to what the game gives you. So once that's really kind of said and done, you kind of get to roam around, play the game. One of the things I definitely fall into is when I'm using my abilities, I try my best to kill as many opponents with one hit as possible, and if I can't, I usually just wait out of that. It's like using like shooting slash. I can tell you how many times I've used it and only attack one person. Come to find out, I can attack multiple people as long as they're within my attack radius. So some of the moves are kind of tricky on figuring out if they attack multiple people or not. But it's actually pretty fun once you figure out what to do. I think experimenting with the game is where the fun comes from. But I think one unique feature that I always laugh about is the lecture sections or the little mini tutorials. I like them more so because as I'm continuing to play the game, by the way, I put 15 hours into the game and I'm still coming across more and more of the tutorials. It's amazing. For me, I just honestly think that just tells me that there's more things for me to come across within the gameplay. So you're always getting rewarded through your gameplay. So definitely expect that. So the verdict? Fair Fencer? It's an awesome game. For those who are new to the franchise or just new to role-playing games, it's accommodating to you with easier difficulties. And for those who are much more veteran in the role-playing genre or just familiar with the Fair Fencer series itself, you can go with a harder difficulty. Outside of that, the game is rewarding. As you continue to progress through the game, you're given more and more unique features, and that can either be through battle mechanics, or it can be small little things such as being able to synthesize within the game itself. On top of that, the fact that the game does have multiple endings does give you high replay value, so you can decide if you want to save the world, or hey, you can even doom it as well. All in all, it's definitely a game you want to sit down and play to enjoy. Now, I'd definitely like to tell you guys, thank you for taking the time to watching this video. If you liked, definitely push the like button. And hey, even put a comment in. Tell me how far you guys got within the game, what's some of the things you like about it or dislike about it. Or if you just want to talk about RPGs in general, hey, you can do that as well. And if you want to also get notified on future reviews, definitely push the subscribe button, because I will be posting videos for you guys every week. Alright, with that being said, I would like to thank you guys for taking the time to check out my video, and you guys have a good time. Now if you don't mind, I got some more Fairy Fencer to play, alright? So see you guys later. Ciao.